Welcome. I'm Lauren. Welcome to this live on my channel. Today, I thought that I would probe anxiety and look a little bit more deeply into what anxiety is and how we work through it. Hello, Kathy. Hello, Shari. Sorry I'm a little bit late today. I've decorated my side table. We spoke in one of the recent lives about how I used to have a blue statue here. And I wanted to go and get the blue statue, but it's out with the cats, and the three cats at the back door eagerly waiting to see me. Just come home, and I wanted to do this live first before I had cats galore all over me. So the blue statue will need to wait till the next live. In the last couple of lives, we've brought up a number of different issues that are important to you. And I thought today we would emphasize, hey, Jennifer, it's good to see you. Good to see you, Jennifer. Shari, I didn't. I went to I call it my husband's work, and spent some time there and wanted to get back to content creation. So in order to get the glasses, I would have had to go to a shopping center, book in, have them, they're all ready, measure me, make sure they're happy with that. And I'm fairly eager to work on this, that I'm sorry, my husband just tried to call me, so that's put a slight stop in the live. I want to create content that provides a level of comfort for you and also helps you move through issues. Can you hear me now, Kathy? It's because my husband tried to call me. So rather than stop the live and start again, can I just check that you can all hear me? Thanks, Shari. Oh, thank you, Jennifer. That's good to know. Thank you, Sunflower. Lives are a little bit out there, aren't they? Because they're improvised. And I have a thought about what I'm going to say. Oh, thank you. And then those thoughts are affected by what you say to me, and I can't see you. So it's the most interesting atmosphere. I would like to create a more comforting environment with the lives and try to cultivate that sense of comfort. And I'm thinking about what provides comfort to you. And then, of course, I think about what I find comforting. I naturally find these are one of my favorite glasses. I find mineral water comforting. I find pure wool comforting. I find my glasses to a point comforting. I find this room comforting, the appearance of a plant and this sort of lighting. But these things in of themselves don't make my life peaceful. They're what I call one percenters. And I was actually thinking about you, Jennifer, today and yesterday, and about different experiences some of us have had. And for me to say to somebody that's possibly estranged from children or suffered a death or a partner has been unfaithful, these fairly horrific situations, for me to say, oh, look, try this one percenter, burn a candle, or drink a glass of water, or have a plant. It doesn't make it better. But what it does is it cultivates an environment of serenity and comfort. And that can give us that step off the starting block of going, okay, my head's on. I can do this. I can now give up alcohol. I can now give up sugar. I can now meditate for 5 minutes a day. I can now keep my journal. So it gives the one percenter or the softening so that we can start making sense of our life. I don't know if it's possible ever to put all the ducks in a row to make sense of life because life can be really hairy and quite irrational and it can be difficult. So, and unexpected. You know, those surprises, those random surprises when perhaps a friend may let you down or a family member does something out of the box or an animal gets sick or suddenly we have a huge bill and we're floored, we're blindsided and think, oh my giddy aunt, where did that come from? What do we do? I am a big believer in the one percenters, the softening. And I'm going to put it out to you now. What are your one percenters that just allow you to ground yourself and allow you to my back's a little bit sore at the moment. I had skin cancer taken out last week. So that was one of those things that blindsided me, a skin cancer on my back. What brings you comfort? We're not looking at incredible miracles here. We're looking at softening. Today, when I was driving to work and I was concerned about certain things, I got to the top of the driveway and a neighbour walked past and she was lovely. She introduced herself and she said, let's go walking. And it was a 4 minute engagement that added to my entire day. And when other things happened that were not awesome, I thought about this. Her name is Lauren, by the way. This lovely softening talk with Lauren. And I thought, that's nice. And then I might pat one of the horses or smell his fur, and that's nice. I bought this in Gawler and I love it. And it has a smell about it, which is interesting because it's not, it's run by battery. I don't know how it smells, but it does. And I love it. The top of it moves. I don't know if you can see it. And that's beautiful. I'm somehow comforted by mineral water. What do you find to be comforting for you? What brings a softening to you? Your ability to go, okay, almost like you're surrounded with soft pillows, so that with these soft pillows, you can start to rejuvenate, start to renew, and start a yoga practice. You can start to give up alcohol. You can start to reduce your red meat or whatever it is for you. You can start to withdraw from somebody that perhaps is unkind to you. It gives you that push off the starting block. What helps you in that situation? We feel anxiety because it's an instinct to keep us alive. So it's there to help us stay alive. It's a hormonal response, fight or flight. So we go, goodness me, I'm going to run away from the lion, or I'm going to suddenly turn on adrenaline so I can work my way through this problem. Anxiety has a purpose, and the purpose is to keep us alive. But sometimes this instinctive response doesn't serve us, and it can actually make things worse. So, having the ability to take a breath, have a glass of water, and say, hang on, hold the phone. This anxiety I'm experiencing does not serve me. Remember the importance of not owning the anxiety. It's not your anxiety, it's not mine. We don't own it, we experience it. So, to say to yourself, the anxiety I experience does not serve me. I choose to separate from it, draw a line in the sand, and start grounding myself so that I give my mind the best possible paradigm in which to heal, know the answers, become well, make decisions. I choose to separate from my anxiety. I choose not to own it. I choose not to define myself by anxiety. I choose to look down upon it. I choose to see its value, wakes me up. Oh, goodness, this is a problem. I choose not to become it. I choose not to become my anxiety. How do we do that? First step is to name it, name the issues, whether it's a bill or issues with a friend or whatever it is. I choose to name it. And then I choose to metaphorically create a moat between me and anxiety. So, hello, anxiety over there. I've got my big fence here. I've got my brick wall, and I'm not coming over to you at the moment. I know you're there, and I know why you're there, but I'm going to have this moat, and I'm going to decide to recruit under your arms, your tools, your one percenters. So the one percenters I love are a very short, one example, very short weight training session, something that's not too taxing and just helps me to feel a little bit more grounded. I like to chant. I do a lot of chanting. I might chant Om. I might chant Om Namah Shivaya. So I use a variety of different chants. That helps me as well. I drink water slowly, so I notice the feeling of the water, the fluidity of the water. I will do a short yoga practice or stretching practice. I will look at the garden. I will notice the sunrise and the sunset and really separate my need to solve. Oh my goodness, this is terrible. I have to solve it. No, I don't need to solve it. This situation is terrible or disappointing or frustrating or whatever. And I feel, so what do you feel? Choose to own your feelings. I feel this, but I know I can separate myself from my feelings. I address my feelings, I identify my feelings. I don't become my feelings. Sounds simple, doesn't it? It's not simple. It's a process, it's a practice, and it's a learning. Keeping a journal is grounding. The action of using a pen is grounding, gives us that separation between anxiety and ourselves, creates our beautiful castle moat so we can be the princess or the prince. Karen's just said feelings aren't facts. Yeah, it's very true, Karen. It's interesting because for us to say to somebody that, let's say we've got a person here, we'll make them up. We've got Sarah over here who's been married for 30 years. Her husband has left her 30 after 33 years and alienated her children against her. And she's got a chronic illness. So for me to say to Sarah, I'll just do a yoga practice. It's condescending. These things are drowning. It's like quicksand. It's like fire. It's an earthquake. It's horrific. To start off and say, well, this is an earthquake. This is difficult. But then going back to what Karen said, even when feelings are like fire, they're still feelings and they do have a use by date. It is not the role of a counselor, myself, to say to a client, oh, they're just feelings or thoughts. They are just feelings and thoughts. It is up to the student, up to the person experiencing the feelings, up to my client to get to that point themselves. It's so important that we get to the point that we can use our mind, use our own faculties to get through. People can reassure us, support us, provide comfort, but we've got to go through the machinations of our mind to work our way through it. Thoughts are thoughts. We can choose other thoughts. Feelings are feelings. We can choose other feelings. Sometimes that's horrifically painful. Yeah, I get that. Terrible things can happen in the world. People can become bankrupt in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. Children can be estranged from parents in a completely unreasonable way, unfair, or vice versa. There may be a reasonable reason, there may be an unreasonable reason. You have your story, and your story has worth, and your story counts. This is about you. You may use the tool of a counselor, you may use the tool of a friend, but sadly and fortunately, the buck stops with you. The buck stops with you. Creating a toolbox. The toolbox may include counseling, may include going to a parent, may include a short holiday, may include a yoga practice, may include decluttering the house, may include patting a dog, may include going to bed and watching Netflix for a period of time. It's about pausing and thinking, I am separate to my anxiety. I experience anxiety. I'm not my anxiety. I don't have anxiety. I'm not anxious. I experience anxiety. I feel anxious. I think anxious thoughts. That's the first step. Then you start creating your moat. And your moat can be yoga or reading or watching football or whatever. And that moat can help you get to the point that you choose to separate yourself from the anxious experience and start to find the answers. And perhaps one of the answers is accepting the awful loss or the adversity. That may be one of the answers along the road. Our brain is like, our mind is like a finely tuned car. Let's call it a Mercedes. Let's call it a Mercedes Benz. It needs to be serviced. It needs an oil change. It needs petrol. It needs to be driven carefully. It needs to be looked after. In order to be in the best position to move through adversity, we need to service our mind. We need to practice, and that's where meditation comes in. A racing mind occurs, one of the reasons a racing mind occurs as a fight or flight response. A racing mind is rarely the most optimum paradigm for solving the shit of life. We solve the shit of life by pausing, reflecting, building resilience. Resilience is the ability when we fall down and scrape our knees to go, such is life. I'm going to get up now. It may be in 3 minutes, it may be five, maybe in 2.5 days, but I'm going to get up. I'm going to develop the ability to see this in perspective and I'm going to move through it. I may move through it slowly, I may move through it quickly, but I am going to move through it. I'm not going to be catastrophic. That's going to be catastrophic for a short period of time. I'm not going to react. Perhaps you may react for a short period of time. I'm going to be realistic, reasonable, and I'm going to take one step at a time. I'm going to recruit my support crew, see a counsellor, and I'm going to move through this lovingly, kindly, and compassionately, looking after my physical health, my nutrition. I'm going to minimize alcohol, eradicate alcohol, or use it wisely. And I'm going to take one step. And then when I've taken that step, I'm going to take another step. And as I take that step, I'm going to notice my breath. And I'm going to notice the gift of my breath. Other people may not see you. Other people may not recognize you. Other people may judge you because they only see you through the lens of their own experience. And this can be terribly unfair, can be really terribly unfair. but it is what it is. So whether life is terribly unfair or not, we have a duty to live in order to care for others, to give to one other person's life. Like that woman, Lauren, today that saw me and just lifted my spirits slightly. We have a duty of care to appreciate the gift of life in order that we can lighten somebody's load in some way. Life is not an entitlement, life is a gift, and that is the way we need to see life and address our life. Don't you love the sound of the water? I love the sound. I have, as I've said to you, my significant counselling discount all through August. If you put in the coupon AUGUST on my counselling website, you can go to laurenostrowskifenton.com. You can also go to Simply Book Me. I know that sometimes there may seem to be darkness at the end of the road. We may feel there's no hope. But if we take one more breath and then one more breath, and if we hold the issue up to the light differently, or take a break from the issue, or lighten our load with something soft, like an evening in with Netflix or a laugh with a friend, we can get through. One of the beauties of this community here right now is that we can lighten each other's loads. We can share, we can chat, we can commiserate. The environment isn't as effective, understandably, than if we were all together, but it's something. This in itself is a one percenter. So, thank you for listening to me today. I was thinking about what to speak about, and I thought it's important to have a theme. And in life, comfort is such a beautiful theme to induce sustainable comfort, not the comfort of constantly avoiding our Brussels sprouts to the point we're not healthy, or not the comfort or of not opening the bills, and not the comfort of not returning that call to a sibling or a parent or a relative that needs to be made. The comfort of, I'm okay right now. I am resilient. I will plan. I will be in the moment. I'll take another step. I will work towards the practice of thinking clearly. I will get up sometimes when I don't feel like getting up. I will tidy the house when I don't feel like tidying the house. And sometimes I won't tidy the house. I will move softly with kindness for self and at times kindness for others. And I'll be okay. I will be okay. I am okay. I am worth it. I will be okay. And I will use my okayness to contribute to somebody else's sense of okay. More information about anxiety, Jennifer. It's an interesting topic, isn't it? It's just, I talk about using softer words. So I talk about using the word disappointing to describe things, but anxiety, it can be, let's call it out. If anxiety was a character in the room, we could call her awful, awful anxiety. She's just awful. It is painful, it's debilitating, it induces panic, it is lonely, it is desperate. Let's call her out. And if she's in the room right now, let's recognize it. Hey, anxiety, awful anxiety over there. You are simply awful. I don't like you. I don't enjoy you being in my life, but what I can do is I can name you. And like Stiltskin, by naming you, I will disempower you. I won't stop experiencing you, But my experience of anxiety is separate to what has occurred. So we've got the experience of anxiety. It may induce panic. It may inspire you to eat too much, too little, drink too much, um, not look after your health. So there's the anxiety. It's what it may provoke, inspire the behaviors of how you walk through it, the destructive behaviors. And then there is the issue. The issue may be, I look at some significant ones: betrayal by a partner, death by a partner, betrayal by siblings, not being recognized, being overlooked for a job that was rightfully yours, parental estrangement, child estrangement, narcissistic features in a partner leaving you and then turning children against you. These are awful. They're the type of things that you want to, we could call her awful Anna anxiety, awful Anna. So you're estranged from children, or you have a partner that's unfaithful after you've done a whole lot of things for this partner, or perhaps you're looking at bankruptcy. And then awful anxious Anna comes along. You think, oh, blow this. Anna, do you have to be here right now? I don't need you. Okay, I'm going to call you out, awful anxious Anna. I'm going to call you out, but I refuse to become you. I refuse to become you, anxious Anna. Yes. Yeah, it's one of the friends of anxious Anna is Lorna loneliness. That's actually hard to say, Lorna loneliness. So when we have our room of our life, we've got anxious Anna that rears her awful head, and then we've got lonely Lorna when we feel lonely because we're experiencing this anxiety by ourselves and we feel invisible. Why can't anyone see that I'm going through this? Why can't anyone see me? Why can't somebody rescue me? And the awful thing is, lonely Lorna, is that nobody rescues us. They just don't. We might get a smile, we might get a pleasant experience, but nobody rescues us. Sadly, that's our job. That's our job. How unfair is that? But if we deny it and we wait to be rescued, we disempower ourselves. I feel like calling the word disempower. So, empower, let's say empowering Ernie, bring in empowering Ernie into the room, and you've got lonely, I'm not going to have to remember these names, lonely Lorna and anxious Anna, and then empowering Ernie comes in. And empowering Ernie, we all have a bit of empowering Ernie in us. Now, remember, empowering Ernie, that ability to be resilient, could be one small step. It could be one small step in your self care. It could be one small action. Hey, Jeffrey. I actually like the notion of calling these experiences names because it makes it all the more real. Saying anxious Anna, lonely Lorna, empowering Ernie, uh, resilient Ruth, because resilience is so important and quite painful. Somehow it'd be so much more pleasant in some situations to flop on the floor and just sob for 3 days. Hey, Catanata, I'm going to go in a moment because I'm going to feed the cats and let them in. I thought that perhaps you could put comments here about what you think about anxiety. And do you have an anxious Anna in your crowd, the experience of your life? Do you have an empowering Ernie? Do you have a resilient Ruth? Do you let empowering Ernie and resilient Ruth speak? Do you have a lonely Lorna? I know I do. I know that when I think about coping with certain things that have happened to me, I feel overwhelmed with panic, and lonely Lorna comes in and sits on the chair with me. It's important to try to have perspective and allow the different feelings to come in. Try not to polarize, try not to have one simple feeling and thought. Try to see that everything changes. Everything changes. Life is and can be profoundly unfair, but we have the gift of breath, and that matters. And there is always hope. There is always hope. There is prayer, whatever prayer you engage in. There is the beauty of the breath. There is the one percenters. And there is the fact that you will be okay. And there is the fact that you are okay now. Being okay can look at like so many different things. You may have the love of your life walk out in an awful way, but you will be okay. That person does not deserve you. They are not your soulmate. And you will find another way to be in life. You will find resilient Ruth. Take her hand right now, sit down, put on Netflix with resilient Ruth, ask Lonely Lorna to leave. You're not interested. Get Empowering Ernie to bring out the platters, the cheese and Vicky platters, and have a night in with Netflix. What do you think? What strategies do you use to cope with anxious Anna? Are you able to separate yourself from your feelings and thoughts? I know it's a practice. What do you do to separate yourself from your feelings and thoughts and look down upon them? And as we know, a vital part of this is the ability to meditate, to walk and stretch, whether you call it yoga or Tai Chi, and the ability to pray with whatever belief you have, whatever belief is pertinent to you. I'm going to leave it there. I look forward to seeing your comments, how you feel about anxiety, how you manage and look down upon your feelings as the eagle looking down. And yeah, look forward to hearing from you.